Hello gamers, welcome to my week in review. This is where I go over everything I did hobby related from the previous week, whether it be painting projects or gaming related gaming events, things like that. So I'm going to start off with gaming as usual. Nice full game of week of gaming. So we start off with on the Wednesday, D came around, and we played a few games of Superstar Showdown from Gale Force 9. We played one sort of not a practice game, but we tried Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan. I was Daniel Bryan, and I won that game. And then we filmed the following game, which I was John Cena, and he was playing Randy Orton. And as you may have saw on the video, it was a really brutal game, which I got whooped in. But it was still super fun. I'm really enjoying that. I'm really glad that I managed to pick that up when it was so cheap on Amazon because I'm still really enjoying it, and I'm hoping that it continues that way. After that, we played Witcher, the Witcher board game from Fantasy Flight Games. This is an interesting game, really, because it's obviously the Witcher is a role-play game, sort of from the Xbox, PC, that sort of thing, and this is converted to a board game, but it's not like that as the board game. This is more of a sort of a solitaire, multiplayer solitaire game, where you're just going around, sort of collecting resources to try and complete quests. And it's kind of a race, you're racing to be the first person to complete all your goals. It was alright, I enjoyed it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was pretty good. I think it's good with 2 or 3 players. I think 4 players would not be very good. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying that again, see how the different characters play and so on. The following night, my son wanted to have a game, so we decided to play Above and Below. Above and Below is one of my favorite games from last year. And we also, Carl and I have been working on the components. It was my friend Martin's birthday coming up that week, so we painted up the components for him. The components are interesting. It came with the Kickstarter, and the components. Oh, I always enjoy having upgraded components, but these these resources were very obscure. Some of them you look at and go, I'm not really sure what this is. Is this a speech bubble? Is it a rope? What is it? So we decided to paint the components up for Martin for his birthday. He's already had his birthday, so there's no spoilers here. And we did a little cheeky game where we were using some of the upgraded components to see how they work and show Alex the game. I really enjoyed it. I tried a different strategy in this one where I just wanted to go with just harvesting resources, getting tiles with resources on, especially ones that come back every turn. And I got severely beaten. I didn't get any of the point scoring tiles that sort of multiply whatever resources you were going for. I just went straight resources, and they just don't give you enough points. So I came dead last. Ironically, Alex won, and he was saying to me later that he didn't really know what he was doing. He was just, getting as much points as he can, which is not a terrible strategy in a game where you're trying to get victory points. After that, no, actually, the Saturday, my friend Michael from Team Clueless 40k, he has his own YouTube channel. We've been running a campaign, a 40k campaign, sort of between the two channels. So I post up a game on mine, then he posts up a game on his, like that. We came to the finale of that campaign, so we were doing a big apocalypse game, more than 5,000 points aside, and we played it down at his factory because we needed extra space. And we went down there on the Saturday and had a big table. You can see some of the pictures here, where we had a big sort of T-shaped table, and we had to prevent the Chaos Forces from summoning the big demon Angrath. It was a really fun game. I really enjoyed it, although I think we filmed this one as well, and this will be on Battle Knights, my miniatures YouTube channel. But suffice to say, we got whooped. John and I just didn't have the luck on our side, and the Chaos Forces prevailed. But it was still a really good game. I really enjoyed this campaign. I really liked the idea of games mattering from game to game rather than just, playing a one-off sort of tournament-style game. So I really enjoyed this. I'm really looking forward to another campaign sometime in the future. Maybe it's a little different alleyway, following some different things. But yeah, so it was good. Really enjoyed that. But then we had to rush home to my place because the birthday boy Martin was coming around, and we were going to play some board games. So the first game we played that on Saturday night was the Excellent Trains from AEG. I really like this game a lot. I don't know what it is about this game. I mean, it's just a deck builder with a board attached to it, essentially. But it's really smooth. It's really easy. It's just a really cool game. As you can see also that we were using the upgraded components from, I think it's Meeple Source, where the trains, instead of cubes, they are little trains or various types of transport trains. And they just make the game pop a lot more. This game was also really close, as you can see with the scores. I think Ash won on 36 points, and Martin came last on 28. So, or I think it was Ash had 34. But it was like 6 points in it between all four players. That's excellent. I really enjoyed them. After that, we had a couple of filler games quickly. We played Welcome to the Dungeon from iYellow, which is a little push-your-luck game set in a dungeon sort of environment setting. It was alright. I didn't. It's nothing to write home about. I mean, it's one of those games that if someone wanted to play, I'd play it. But I wouldn't go out and buy it or even suggest it that often. It was okay. I mean, I do like push-your-luck games. So I'm actually quite a big fan of it, but this one was just okay. We played Greed after that, from Queen Games. Played Greed quite a few times this year already. I know Martin's played it quite a lot as well, and it's actually a really good game. It's a little drafting game where you just draft. The whole game is drafting, but each turn after the third turn you'll be playing a card out, and they have different effects, and you're trying to accumulate as much money as you can. It's really good. I really enjoy it. It's not bad. So after that, the other guys wanted to try out Shadows of Brimstone. Shadows of Brimstone is one of my favorite games, but I don't play it too often because I'm trying to basically get everything painted up, and I want to get through the meat of all the rules and that sort of thing so I can really hit the campaign hard. But we decided to have it as just a one-off game, one of the basic scenarios. Everyone started off with level 1 characters, that sort of thing. And I gotta admit, it was one of the funniest one-sided games I've played of this. I mean, I haven't played many games of it, but I mean, Ash was playing the Indian scout, and he must have got knocked out 5 or 6 times in that one mission, which was hilarious. He was beaten to hell. He had so many injuries and so many stat reductions and things like that. It was funny. I mean, even when we weren't even in a fight, we'd like just walk into a room, have an encounter, a cave in. You need to roll a 6 to avoid the cave in. Everyone else will roll the 6, and Ash will fail and get crushed by rocks and killed. It was just funny. It was really good. I really enjoyed it. Even though it was a little different to what I was expecting, I still really enjoyed it. But that was it for Saturday night. Then Sunday, we had my friend Alan come around, and Dee was back as well. And then me and Carla joined them for a couple of games. The first game we played was one of Molo's rare finds. I think it's called Koryo. I've not heard of this before. I'm not even sure who makes it. It's just one of those rare finds that Molo seems to find everywhere. And I wasn't sure what it was going to be like, but actually it turned out to be a really interesting game. It's sort of a kind of a set collection game, but you using variable character powers. So for example, if you have the most 8s once you've drafted or once you've gone through your cards, and you play some cards down into your tableau, if you have the most 8s, the majority of the 8s, then you get to use their power, and then you basically, the person at the end of, I think it's 8 or 10 turns, with the most victory points wins. So for example, as the picture here is, I had the most 6s, but I didn't have the most 8s. So at the end of the game, if I have the most 6s, I gain 6 points. And if I had the most 8s, I would have gained 8 points as well. But Carla had the most 8s in this situation, so she scored 8 points there. But I still won. It was pretty close. I think I had maybe 12 points or something like that. And then I think Alan came last, and he had 10 or something. So it was really close. Really interesting game. Definitely want to play that again. Then we played Eclipse after that. Alan's obsessed with Eclipse at the moment. Carla's not played it before, so I wanted her to try it because Eclipse is one of my favorite, if not my favorite game. And Dee doesn't like space games. So we played Eclipse. I played the Descendants of Drago, which is a really interesting race because they're the ones that can sort of form bonds with the ancient guardians on the map. And the game was going steady enough for everyone. I thought I was doing pretty well. Carla was handling herself while Alan was playing the pirate race. So at some point I was expecting him to attack someone, but for the first 7 or 8 turns, no one really did any attacking. And then around about turn 7, all of them decided to attack me. Dee attacked me on the right flank, Alan attacked me in the center, and Carla was building up to attack me on the left. And it was just like, oh, I'm in real trouble now. And they pushed me back, destroying planets, killing my ships, putting all sorts of pressure on me. At the end, I think who won this game? I think either Alan or Carla. Oh yes, they tied for first place, but Alan won because of more resources. Um, and then I came, I suppose, third, and D came last. So I didn't do too badly considering the pressure I was under. So that's the games I played this week. Really great week of gaming. I mean, some of my favorite games, Eclipse and Shadows, were played. And I also played Above and Below, which was in my top 5 games of last year. And I'm always really enjoy playing campaign games like 40k and things like that. So it was a really great week of gaming. But if I had to pick the game of the week, considering all the options I had, I probably gonna have to go with Trains, because it's just a really easy, smooth game, and I really enjoyed it. It was really close. It looked great. It felt really fun. So I think that I'll pick that as my game of the week. Even though all the heavy contenders of my favorite games were in there as well, I think I'll go with Trains. So that's my gaming for the week. Now we go on to my painting projects for the week. And I actually feel like I didn't do a lot of painting this week, but now that I'm going through the photos and things like this that I'm posting up here for the vlog, I can see that I actually didn't do too bad. The first thing I'll show you guys is the completed project for Selwyn, who won the painting competition, competition I had for a painting voucher, and he wanted me to do Alvin and Dexter from Ticket to Ride, and then some figures from Room 25. Now, I've not played Room 25, but they were quite interesting. Some interesting little characters there. I think the game is based on the Cube or something like that. So I got them finished and they posted off to him. I hope he likes them. I also, because I was doing the 40k game on the Saturday, and Mike gave me a heads up that Psykers might be useful, I decided to paint one of my Primaris Psykers from my Imperial Guard army, and I got him done. It's the first Imperial Guard figure I've painted in a while, actually, so I had to struggle remembering the color scheme I used. But he was pretty good. He lasted most of the game, so that was good. I also did a couple more zombies for my Dungeon Saga set. Nothing special there. It's not great photos, I've got to admit. I'm a better painter than I am a photographer. But I got them painted, so I got 2 more figures done for Dungeon Saga. And I also got 2 more figures done for Imperial Assault. I got Luke Skywalker and the Wookiee. I can't remember his name. But I finished them off. So that's all the heroes done now as well for that set. So all I got left is a couple of Nexu Cats and Darth Vader. And then a couple of bits and pieces like touch-ups, eyes, things like that. And then that set's done, and I can send that off. Which I'll do a full picture of that in the next week in review. And then the last thing I want to show you on the painting side is the upgraded components for Above and Below. I was mentioning earlier in the video that the components for the game, it's great having these cool little components, because normally the components are just tokens, not the little wooden pieces. But they weren't really that clear. I mean, some of them are clear. Obviously, the fish is really clear. But I've played the game a few times, and a few times people have gone, "What is this? What is this?" You know. So Colin and I painted up the bits for it for Martin's birthday, and here's just a couple of pictures to show you guys what they look like. I think they look much better painted. I hope you guys like it as well, because that was really interesting to do. Okay, so that's the end of my painting projects for the week. Now, just one last thing before I finish off the video. I've been thinking about something like this for a couple of days, and I was wondering if any other one else is similar to what I am. I consider myself as an omni gamer, as I play pretty much anything. I play miniature-based games, I play PC computer-style games, I play board games, card games. I just love games. Anything with a game in, I'm involved. And I was wondering how many other people are like that as well, because I got quite a few friends who play all variety of games, but not all of them play everything. Like, you know, some people only like board games, some people only like card games, or you know, some don't even like board or miniature games. They just like PC games and stuff like that. I had my friend Jamie over on the Saturday when we were playing games, and I met him through my shop when I had my shop, and he was only a Magic player. He only played Magic, and it was only after, you know, a few months and years of coming down to the shop and becoming friends with us that he started dabbling in other things. I mean, he's still not really a miniature gamer. He played 40k for a little bit, but didn't really like it that much. And he likes board games. And then I got, like, say, other friends who, like, say, for instance, Bennett is more of a miniature gamer. He's not really all that interested in board games or miniature card games and things like that. So I was just wondering if anyone else is like me, who just plays everything and anything and is happy to just be involved in gaming, full stop. So if you are, comment below. I'd like to hear you guys' thoughts. And thank you for listening to or watching my week in review and supporting the channel. And I'll speak to you guys later.